Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And you must be noticing one thing that I'm posting it consistently every day. And this is I'm doing this for two reasons. First is my friend told me if you often upload on YouTube, the algorithm is going to help you out. And secondly is I'm trying to entertain you guys, make you more informative about consultancy. And at the end, I will tell you guys, I'm learning with you guys. Whatever I present to you guys is something new. So I do a little bit research, and in this way, you will learn with me. And whatever I say might not be 100% correct because all these are my opinions. But if you feel like gaining this information, or if you feel like whatever information I'm giving to you is informative, you can like the video and share with your friends. Let's dive into it. Today, I'm going to talk about market entry and ACE framework. ACE framework is very informative and very much useful framework when you're sitting for case study interviews. I'll tell you why in the further slides. Key questions. Should the client enter a new market? So when you talk about market entry, you ask the client, should we enter this market? If yes, when, how, and through which mode? That is the most key important. When, how, through which mode? Three questions. Entry strategy is always equals to assessment, alignment, and economics. Assessment, how you assess the situation. I'm going to give you example of market entry of Starbucks in the further slides. And then alignment, is it aligning with your actual goal? So if a company is there and they want to get into certain market, is that market good for them? Because sometimes few markets can be very much opposing to what they are right now advertising. Third, economics. When talk about economics means, do we have the revenue? Do we have the revenue to sustain in that environment? Because when you get into new market, you need revenue, you need capital. That is a question you want to ask. Next, market entry framework. Market attractiveness. What is the size of the market? How much growth we are expecting? Are we expecting growth in next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? And margin, on how much margin we are going to sell the product. Are we going to sell the product at a high margin, at a low margin? That we have to analyze with our competitors who are already being based in that particular market. Secondly, competitive landscape. Who all are our rivals? What can be the substitute in the future? Is there any company which can replace us in next 2 years, 3 years? Third, customer dynamics, segments and needs. Are we catering the right audience? Because these type of questions you have to ask when you want to start a business or get into some market. Because unless until you have logical backed data with quantify units, you won't be able to get into that market because you have to be fully prepared. It's like a war. When you go for a war, you can't win a war unless you are fully prepared. Then the fourth is regulatory regulations, political factors. All this comes into PEST framework. If you know about PEST, political, economical, in political environment, sociable. So these type of things you have to keep in mind. What is your mode of entry? Through acquisition, through greenfield. Acquisition is basically to directly acquire some company, or and what is the risk and mitigations? What are the risks we have to face if you are entering that market? ACE framework comes under market entry. So we can say it's come under that umbrella. A stands for attractiveness, how attractive the market is. Second, the capabilities, firm, firm strategic fit and research differentiation. Is what is the strategic idea you're implementing? Economics, ROI, ROI, how much we are going to get the return on investment. Are we going to break even in the 2 years, 3 years? How much we are able to scale? So At a consultant note, ACE, that framework is very much used in BCG teams for multiple to multiply markets quickly, a balance of opportunity, capability, and financial sense. So I told you guys I'm going to give an example of Starbucks. Starbucks, if we talk about growing market in class cafe culture emerging as India is growing and it's growing to upper middle class, people are having good amount of money which they can spend on themselves. The economy is rising, so the global brand plus JV with Tata. So what is JV? The JV stand for joint venture with Tata, and Tata is already very well established company in India. So how it's going to work is sustainable ROI, premium positioning. As Starbucks come into premium brands, it can have good positioning in India. Key insights. Market, attractive market doesn't mean feasible entry. So if you think it's attractive market, doesn't always mean that it will be very easy to get into it. Second, success, entry success require alignment with the interest. So if you talk about if in Starbucks has to get into India, they can't keep the same prices which he keep in USA because USA economy is very much different from us. So they have to align with Indian tradition. So they have to add little bit a menu which is more familiar to India. Some masala chai, something like that, like something which is more approachable to the Indian customers. Then financially viability determine long-term sustainability. So as they're collaborating with Tata, they are joint venture. They will be able to fund the Indian Starbucks for a certain period of time before it grows. So this is how the things we talked about. So in market entry, we have ACE framework, attractiveness, and then we have capabilities. Third, economics. Now, moving on towards the example we talked about, Starbucks in India, how they're going to get into the market is by having joint venture with Tata, having a premium positioning, and they have noticed that there is a growing middle class culture of cafes in India. Key insights, attractive market doesn't always mean feasible entries. Entry should require a alignment with internal strengths. Financial visibility determines long-term sustainability. Thank you guys for understanding. Hope you understood the basics of market entry and EC framework. See you in the next video.